A Christian and an atheist friend were having a conversation with each other. And yes, Christian and atheists can be friends. They were having a conversation with each other, and the atheist asked his friend, "Why aren't you rich?" And the friend looked and kind of surprised. What do you mean, why aren't you rich? And he said, well, one of the things I remember about the Bible is that the Bible tells you that if you ask for it, that God will give it to you. If you seek it, you're going to find it. So I'm surprised that at some point you haven't asked for riches. And the Christian looked at his friend and he said, that is in the Bible. You're right. But your characterization of what it is saying is totally wrong. You're misunderstanding what Jesus was trying to say. Have you ever wondered how often that happens? How often we misunderstand what Jesus is trying to say? Just in this study on the Sermon on the Mount, how often have there been scriptures or passages of scripture that we've pulled out that could be and have been used totally out of context throughout time? Well, today we're going to look at another of those passages of scripture as we look at chapter 7, verse 7 through 14. And we're going to talk about it's not only what you ask for, it's how you ask. So let's jump right into our scripture text for today. Once again, Matthew chapter 7, verses 7 through 14. And as you can see there, as is usually the case, we are reading from the New International or NIV version. And of course, we're going to start with what everybody knows. Ask, and it will be given to you. Seek, and you will find. Knock, and the door will be open to you. For everyone who asks receives. The one who seeks finds, and the one who knocks, the door will be open. Which of you, if your son asks for bread, will give him a stone? Or if he asks for a fish, will give him a snake? If you then, though you are evil, know how to give good gifts to your children, how much more will your Father in heaven give good gifts to those who ask him? So in everything, do to others what you would have them do to you, for this sums up the law of the prophets. Now, we're not going to go any further just yet because we're going to focus here. What is Jesus saying? Is Jesus saying that no matter what you ask for the sun, the moon, and the stars, I'm going to give it to you. Just wait, and all of it is going to be given to you. Notice what is said in the second half of the text that we read. He says, if you then, though you are evil, now that's kind of deep. Y'all evil. Y'all wrong. Now, if y'all who are wrong, if y'all who are evil can give good gifts to your kids, good gifts to your children, what then would the Father do? Now, let me step outside of theology for right now and just step into what we perceive as reality. Let's say you ask for $1 million, $2 million, $3 million. Could there be a good reason why God doesn't give that to you? Could it be that it's not in your best interest? Could it be that you won't use it well? Could it be that it could do more harm than good? I would say yes. Look at the history of lottery winners and how many of them in less than 5 years are broke. But now let's go back and get into the theology. Now, because that's a fact that could be part of the reason why some of the things that we ask for, we don't get, because God is going to give us that which is good. And even though we think we might be asking for what is good, it may not be. But beyond that, we look at the text here, seek. Now, let's go past ask and it will be given to you. Seek and you will find. What are we supposed to be seeking? We're supposed to be seeking after God. We're supposed to be seeking the Father. So ask and it will be given unto you. What are you asking for? You're asking for what you are seeking. Seek and you will find. Knock and the door will be open. This is not about just asking for anything. This is about relationship that Jesus is talking about here. This is about relationship. Ask and it will be given. Seek and you will find. Knock and the door will be open to you. For if you ask, you will receive. If you seek, if you're looking for that relationship, if you are looking for the Father, he's not hiding. You will find him. If you knock, the Father is going to be there to open the door to you. And then he gets into talking about we as human beings give good gifts to our children. So wouldn't the Father who is in heaven, the great and merciful Father, give good gifts to his children who are us? It's not about, I want the new car, I want the house, I want that best job, I want the promotion. No, for those things, for one thing, are being asked for in selfishness. And what Jesus is talking about here is so much deeper than that. It is about relationship with the divine. Let's move on. Verse 13 and 14, it says, enter through the narrow gate, for wide is the gate and broad is the road that leads to destruction, and many enter through it. But small is the gate and narrow is the road that leads to life, and only a few find it. Can I be honest with you for a minute? This text scares me. And it scares me because there are a lot of people in my life that I care about, that I love. And I'm looking at this and I'm like, oh God, are they on the narrow road? Are they entering through the narrow gate, or are they like many others who are on that wide road? The road that leads to destruction. When we look at this, it's basically saying that the path, because remember what he's talking about before. We got to take all of this in context. He's talking about seeking, looking for, trying to find God. And now he's saying, enter through the narrow gate. For wide is the gate that leads to destruction. And the problem with this, as we look at it, as we go back up to here, the problem is that the reason that the gate is small and narrow is because there aren't a lot of people who are asking, seeking, or knocking. You know, I often have conversations with some of my older colleagues, and they will talk about what things used to be like in what they perceive as the good old days in the 50s and the 60s and even early 70s, when churches were full. And I say they were full, that's true. But society and culture were different. Stores weren't open on Sunday. The thought of having a traveling baseball team or something that played games on Sunday morning would have been unheard of. There was no competition, and it was culturally expected that people would go to church. That's not the case today. And the question I would ask is, how many of those people in those full churches actually heard and received the message of Jesus? See, in many ways, I would say that it's better now, because as attendance has declined and as people have found what they think are better things to do on a Sunday morning, it means that those that are left, those that are sitting in the seats in the pews, those that are taking the time to watch online are the remnant. They are those who believe. They are the few that are attempting to enter through the narrow gate. It's just my hope that as time goes on, that more and more attempt to enter through that narrow gate. Until tomorrow, may the Lord bless you and keep you. May heaven continue to smile upon you and grant you peace. That is my prayer for you.